The Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development is the ministry responsible for the film sector as well as other culture and creative industry domains in Uganda.
UNESCO was very pleased to engage with the European Union delegation in Uganda and also with the government of Uganda in paying attention to a sector that is often forgotten, and that's the film sector. The film sector is, of course, part of the creative economy, and we tend to underestimate the importance of creative economies. If I just refer to the history of Hollywood and the importance of that sector economically, we then saw Bollywood arise. We have seen Nigeria take the stage with Nollywood. And of course in Uganda now there's also a new term for this, and that is pearlwood, the pearl of Africa. And there is definitely that potential there also for Uganda to develop this film industry.
So we had a number of key objectives, and some of them include, number one, to really understand the challenges that are affecting Uganda's film sector. Number two was to benchmark, to identify and benchmark best practices of film regulation by engaging with other African countries. Number three was to map the Ugandan film sector. And number four was to come up with a policy document that would guide the development of the film sector in Uganda.
Europe, for example, is known for its dynamic cinema landscape in terms of creativity and productivity. All that is enabled by a conducive governance of the sector.
Cinema is a powerful medium to speak one's culture and message. Uganda has one of the most emerging film industry in the world.
But also we shouldn't underestimate the educational potential, and we should use and exploit the film sector much more to also convey educational messages. And then of course it contributes to, in fact, one of the UNESCO conventions in the culture sector, and that is what we call the 2005 Convention on the promotion of the diversity of cultural expressions.
Film was introduced to Uganda by the British colonial government. The current phase where we are at is what I really like to call the takeoff stage. Some of our films, which have been made under some of the most difficult positions, have gone on to really shine at a continental and a global stage. So I think for me that paints a picture of an industry with so much potential, but which still lacks a lot of support, both from the public and the private sectors.
We are aware of the relevance and the impact of the film industry to the economy, to employment creation, income generation, and revenue to the country. However, we don't have any data for the film industry in Uganda.
We did the project in 3 phases, which in our language we called missions. And each of those missions had specific activities that we carried out as part of the project. We traversed the country, went to 4 regions: the northern region in Gulu, southwestern region in Kabale, central region in Masaka, and then also here in Kampala and in Bale as well. Besides the 3 missions, we also had another program called the peer-to-peer learning, which was an amazing element of this project. And this is where we really got to engage with other African countries which have fairly developed film policies to really try and understand how they regulate the film industry and to try and benchmark some of their best practices.
Siina kye naafunye mu firimu kubanga tuzze tukola firimu nga akatale ke twali tuyina ke katale ka DVD era nako tekaatuyamba kubanga piracy yali waggulu nnyo. Ng'okola firimu oba ogitadde ku DVD okugitunda ate ogenda okulaba nga ate abagisazeemu be bangi, kale n'ofundikira nga gwe producer tofunye mu firimu ate nga wagikola nawe okulaninga kufuna ate osobola okusasula n'abantu b'okola nabo.
I joined film industry 2009, and since then I've featured like 22 films, but indeed I've not benefited much in the film industry as an actor.
Go and tell the principal that 21st century is coming to pay for your school fees.
And I'm passionate about film and acting, but you find that I find myself with the costumes, I transport myself to the set.
It's now a new normal for actors to provide for themselves. era okuzannya nze nzannya kuba nkyagala.
I'm so passionate about acting.
We are basically run by passion.
Personally, I didn't go for any film studies, but it's just a talent.
All I can say, it's a talent. Just a talent.
At the present filmmakers, we are self-taught.
The industry has given me a chance to express my talent, to express my creativity. And it has given me a chance to meet and socialize with famous people. Those people I yearn to meet.
Carry me out if you can. You can't leave a ripe fruit, ready to blend and go with the raw ones.
Get out.
Hey. Oh.
When we talk about income, really the industry is not paying enough.
And every day I wish acting could be my first job. But sincerely, we actors, we get totally nothing.
And it's not only with the human resource, but production-wise, technology is changing every day.
The good machines are very expensive, and video files, as I said, they are big in size, and the machines we use are kind of weak, so they can't handle the footage very well. We have started dealing with 4K, 6K. These are very, very huge files.
Each and every day new equipment come up, but we end up using the phased ones, and that definitely won't make you be in position to participate or to compete on the international scale.
Locally, we have the local cinema halls, Uganda. They could be the most vibrant exhibition platform for our films, but business-wise, they're also not doing well.
I started this business, it was 2007. But piracy and competition is the major problem in our business.
DVDs are being piloted, whereby we don't have enforcement to fight piracy on DVD. Many TVs don't welcome our works. They instead play works from outside Uganda.
I knew the rest of our family would face this fear.
The advent of the EU UNESCO film project gave us an opportunity as the stakeholders to organize ourselves into structure. And in April 2021,
I now take the honor to declare Uganda Express digital platform launched.
Amaanyi gaffe tugateeke ku katale ka Kibanda Express era njagala okwebaza MTN ne YoTV okubanga mwatuterawo omukisanga ba film producers kano ke katale akali reliable akaliwo.
I was in Germany and the people were asking, where can we watch your movies? Kibanda Express, by the time I was there, was not able to cross to diaspora. I'm happy now they can watch my movies, and now I need to go back and tell people that you can watch my movies on Kibanda Express.
Indeed, the benefit of the EU UNESCO film projects are immeasurable based on the local and the international peer-to-peer engagement.
It was globally evident that there is no developed film industry based on videos, but rather strong institutions that are enhanced by partnerships to establish strong and resilient local markets that are ideal in negotiating for space in the cross-border film markets.
Those were among our main objectives, and indeed develop a national database and pick key important information, really key data regarding the film industry. And we think that that information can be used by the relevant authorities to plan better for the industry.
When we decided to support this project, our aim was to help kickstart the Uganda movie sector into a proper industry where the guilds are strong, the incentives are in place, the skills are adequate, and very importantly, freedom and creativity are also guaranteed.
So what I have here is the final report of the project, and I can recommend this for very useful reading for everyone.
For the sustainability of the outputs from the project, I recommend that all the stakeholders as a team implement the interventions in the 5-year strategic plan, and these partners include the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, the development partners, the film stakeholders, and the private sector.
We need to team up and do more work in ensuring the further professionalization of the film sector. So this has long left the stage of hobbyism. It is a real economic sector, and UNESCO stands ready to team up with other partners to help develop this as a strong economic sector for employment and as part of the creative industry in Uganda.